Harambee! Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from. The county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin this video by asking you this very, very important question. Assuming we are in 2027, and you are in that polling booth on the election day, and you are provided with a ballot paper. In that ballot paper, there are 5 names, and you are required to pick one as the next president of the Republic of Kenya. The names include William Ruto, David Maraga, Fred Matiang'i, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Rigathi Gachagua. Those 5 people. Who would you vote for as the next president of the Republic of Kenya? Let us begin this video from that note. Let me give you a few seconds to type the name of the person you would vote for if you are given that ballot paper. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who have been following this channel, there is something which I've consistently opined here, that the 2027 presidential elections in the Republic of Kenya is going to be the most expensive presidential election in the history of the Republic of Kenya. And signs are already there. William Ruto and his team are already out there splashing millions of money in the name of economic empowerment. Every week, Kindiki and the team, Farouk and the team. The only reason why Kalonzo Musyoka is not moving around is because he doesn't have enough funds. Fred Matiang'i is fundraising already. I don't know about other candidates, but yesterday, David Maraga shocked the entire country when he revealed that he will be contributing 1 to 2 million Kenya shillings towards his presidential bid. Ladies and gentlemen, is it possible that Kenyans can fund Maraga's campaign? And that's why I asked the first question, who would you vote for? Because based on your answers there, I can predict whether Kenyans can actually vote for Maraga through goodwill, or whether Kenyans will be able to raise campaign funds for Maraga. This country is too vast. To traverse this country, you need billions. You need billions, and of course, goodwill. In this video, I want us to figure out whether Kenyans can actually fund Maraga's campaigns. First of all, I want you guys to listen to Maraga making that declaration.
Vote. However, running a campaign costs money.
Yes.
You'll need to hire vehicles. You'll
Correct.
Need to,
Correct.
PA systems or whatever it is.
Yes.
Have you done an assessment of what you will need and where are you going to get that money from?
Yes. It is being worked. The details are being worked on. We will require quite a substantial amount of money.
Do you know how much?
I won't tell now. My people are working on the likely budget. But I'm convinced we are going to appeal to Kenyans, including Yvonne, to contribute to our campaign, and it's going to succeed. The Kenyans will themselves fund this election, and once we are funded and get elected,
yeah,
you can rest assured that anybody trying to twist us or do anything, we'll tell him, look, this is a Wanjiku funded presidency.
Yeah, but so, be that as it may, CJ, Kenyans are going through a tough time. The cost of living is high. What you're talking about is projections and,
yes,
and hopes that people will fund your campaign. Are you putting in any money yourself?
Very little.
Okay.
Yes, very little.
How much?
I mean, 1-2 million shillings. I don't have much money. I don't have much money. But Yvonne,
And if you don't get the funding that you require from others, I mean, it's sort of like a budgeting issue, isn't it? Like
yes.
You make projections that you will get X amount from, well-wishers or Kenyans of goodwill, as you might call them. If you have a funding gap, right, in your campaign operations, how are you going to plug that gap?
It is not going to be there. Let me tell you that. The people we are talking to, some we are meeting, are saying, look, when are you setting up the pay bill? We are going to pay. We are not asking a lot of money from individuals. We will leave it open for somebody with the suffering the Kenyans have gone through. I can assure you that getting 10, 20, 50 shillings from individuals, 100 shillings will come in. And I can assure you that the assurances we have been given from across the country, we are going to, in fact, if anything, we are hoping to get excess. And my view is that once we get excess, whatever will be left, we'll give it to a public cause.
At some point, will you make this public?
Yes. We're going
what your budget is, what you're hoping to get from the public, and how much you're putting in?
Exactly.
Okay. We'll hopefully have you here.
Yes.
At the moment that decision is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, if elections were held today, can you vote for David Maraga as your preferred presidential candidate? In this video, I want us to figure out whether Kenyans can actually fund David Maraga's campaigns. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. Can Kenyans fund David Maraga's campaigns? Or let me put it this way. Do you think David Maraga will be able to raise enough money to fund his campaigns? Several factors will determine that. The first factor is the choice of a running mate. Who do you think Maraga can pick as his running mate? Who? Because the right choice of a running mate will actually trigger Kenyans to vote for Maraga. It will trigger Kenyans to raise funds for him. The truth of the matter is that in this country, there are history of Kenyans electing people without money. In Kisumu Central, where I'm speaking from here, in 2017, they voted for Fred Oda. Fred Oda did not have money. In fact, people used to raise money for him in the streets here. And he ended up winning against one of the most solid in terms of money at that time, Ken Obura. Salasia won in the last election without money. He defeated some of the most moneyed people down there. That history is replicated across the country, which means Kenyans can actually campaign and even vote for Maraga without getting anything, as long as he can convince them. So one of the ways is the choice of a running mate. I'm looking at Edwin Sifuna. If Maraga were to pick Edwin Sifuna as his running mate, that ticket would not work well, because having Maraga, Akisi, and Sifuna, a lawyer, might not work. Who can Maraga pick as his running mate? Who? Some people are talking of Omtata. Omtata is also a lawyer. Maraga's running mate should actually come from Ukambani or Mount Kenya. But who? If you were to pick someone from Mount Kenya, maybe the Mount Kenya tycoons can rally around that candidate and then pump money into that campaign. So the choice of the running mate is very important. Number two, the support of the international community. One of the advantages Raila Odinga has always enjoyed over the years is that he has always had international networks. And because of that, he's been able to get support from, let's say, this president, this prime minister, goodwill from the international community, including top business people around the world. Maraga served as the Chief Justice. I'm not sure whether Maraga has enough international networks. I'm also not very sure, because you see, this international community, for example, the British government and the American government, can decide to support you, like they are going to support Matiang'i, which means they'll pump money through that candidate by sponsoring, let's say, these opinion polls, sponsoring lobbies, Is Maraga enjoying international support? I'm not so sure. Maybe you can advise me. Because if he were enjoying the international support, they'll pump money. So campaigns will not be a problem for him. They'll basically just make things work for him. Number 3 is who is behind his bid? Who? Because Maraga served as Chief Justice, he retired. He never expressed any interest in joining politics. But after the Gen Z protest, he started coming out. And as we speak, you can comfortably say that Maraga is actually enjoying the support of the Gen Zs. But who is behind his candidature? There are 2 theories. The first theory is that William Ruto's government are the force behind Maraga to divide the opposition and probably to stop Matiang'i in Kisii. But there is also another theory that Maraga is actually a project of the civil society. So if he is a project of the people through the civil society, Kenyans will easily pump money. But if Kenyans will suspect that is being used to divide the opposition, they won't fund that campaign. So those ones will come clearly as we move forward. Number 4 is the civil society in Kenya. Who will they support? Will they stick with Omtata or will they support Maraga? Because I'm 100% sure that the civil society in Kenya will not support William Ruto. In the last election, the civil society supported William Ruto. This time, they are not going to support William Ruto. If Omtata will be running, they might support Omtata. But I want to assume that Omtata will rally behind Maraga. Civil society can easily pump good money. I've always told people that one of the reasons why Raila Odinga picked Martha Karua was because of 2 reasons. He wanted to maintain that reform credentials, and importantly, he felt that he had lost the civil society. So he wanted to pick Martha Karua, or he picked Martha Karua to attract back the support of the civil society. Because the civil society can easily pump money. Like for Raila Odinga, he had hoped that especially the women organizations were going to pump money into Martha Karua's bid. That did not happen. I'm 100% sure that for Maraga, chances of the civil society pumping money in that campaign are very high. Remember, William Ruto and his team are currently accusing the civil society of funding the Gen Z protest in the Republic of Kenya, which means they have the capacity. Number 5, which is the most important, is the goodwill from Kenyans. The other day, Rigathi Gachagua was was it some radio or TV station, and he went live on TikTok. It was alleged that within a very short time, he had raised 14 million Kenya shillings. If it was campaign period, that money would be enough for him to run like for 1 or 2 weeks. Or maybe 3 days. So you can be sure that if Rigathi were to go live again, probably people would still contribute for him. I'm sure Maraga has goodwill of Kenyans. And that's why I'm interested in seeing or in reading those comments down there. Who would you vote for? And lastly, there is also what we call the community support. Our politics is largely tribal. First, Matiang'i is a Kisii. The Kisiis have already endorsed him. Maraga is a Kisii. I don't think the Kisiis will leave Matiang'i for Maraga. I'm not so sure. Of course, he can be the project of the people. If he will be able to convince Kenyans that it's not really a Kisii, but it's a project of the people, then the people will vote for him. But if you were to convince the Kisis that is the candidate, then the Kisii community would easily pump money in that campaign. Just like they are pumping money in Matiang'i's campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, in your own opinion, do you think Maraga will be able to generate enough money for campaigns? And let us not lie. Campaigns are very expensive. If, for example, me as Lee, I were to decide to support Maraga, let's say from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he has rallies in Western Kenya. Let's say the first rally in Kisumu, first day, I'll go there, join him, blah, blah. Yeah, maybe use my car, you know. The next day, he's in Kakamega. I'll go to Kakamega, probably spend my night there. You see, all those are expenses. Maybe have my driver, maybe hire security. The next day, let's say he's in Bungoma. I'll still have to go. Yeah, so if you're not prepared, you cannot even afford that for 2 weeks because campaigns are very expensive, even in a situation where you want to support him by making public appearance. If Maraga were to organize a political rally in Kisumu, serious one, the first thing we'll need is to secure a venue. Expensive. The second thing we'll need before any other thing is to secure security. So we will get the boys around to secure the area. The third thing we'll need is the public address system, which is very expensive. The third thing we'll need vehicles, which will be transporting him and his team. The other thing we'll need is accommodation. Normally, a basic setup for a political event would not cost less than 2 million Kenyan shillings. So if you were to contribute 2 million, that would be to cater for a one-day event. What about the rest of the days? Kenyans, let me know whether he will be able to raise those money. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. And by the way, if you were to raise money from Kenyans, then we will not be hostage to cartels and brokers. And that will be good for Kenya. Until next time, bye-bye.